If your goal is long-term success on social media, you're going to want to create yourself a personal brand. I truly believe that it is very important that people follow you for who you are. I see a lot of people trying to make money on the internet, and their method is usually something faceless, voiceless, AI, automation, all that sort of thing. And while, yeah, there's definitely people that do this successfully, I do think that it is the much harder route to take. I think that long term, if you actually want to make money consistently instead of having to find a new side hustle every 6 months, because trust me, that's what happens. You got to remember, a couple of years ago, everybody was drop shipping. Now everybody's using TikTok Shop or Forex, or just there's always. I don't like the whole faceless thing because of the fact that typically it involves something that is not permanent or stable. When it comes to me and this account and what I'm trying to teach you guys to do, it's all about stability and sort of the longer term. You've heard me talk before about how I think it's very silly when a social media influencer makes a ton of money and then pisses it all away as quickly as they can, because don't just act like the money that you've got right now is the money you've got forever. Like the first month where I was just doing really well on social media and I made £33,000, it would have been very easy for me to just start spending that on stupid things. But I didn't. We were smart with it, and that's what you need to do. Part of the reason that I've been so able to grow various different social medias is because I am the brand, Regardless of the niche that I am in, as long as I'm on camera and speaking, there will be people that recognize it from the things that I've done before. On TikTok especially, I'm not talking about YouTube with that, I'm talking about TikTok. On TikTok I have nearly 1 million followers across my accounts. 6 monetized accounts and 4 or 5 different niches. And I've been able to grow in anything I've done, and I really do believe it's because it's me. And it's the same with you guys. You don't want the reason that people to watch you to be for something that isn't you, because you get stuck. Think about just how many people that were playing Fortnite a few years ago professionally are now out of a job. And yeah, they may have made a ton of money, and to be fair, a lot of them made enough money to set themselves up for literally forever. But there will have been a lower class of influencer that weren't the guys that we all know the names of, that will have made a big chunk of money, like a few 6 figures, that probably spent it on something silly and now don't make very much. Because this has happened time and time again. It happened literally 15 years ago with all the 16-year-olds that got rich off Modern Warfare 2 and Machinima Respawn. Don't make the mistakes that people have previously made. You don't want to do the whole side hustle grind and all that sort of thing, because sure, you might be able to make some money this month, but you will often find yourself having to figure out what the next thing is. And rather than trying to figure out what the next thing is, just build your own actual personal brand and have you be the thing that makes the money, because you will always be you. You don't have to worry about things coming and going. Really quick, let me talk about the sponsor of this video. Me. I am currently in the process, and have been in the process for a few weeks now, of putting together a community for the people that want to take this a little bit more seriously. It's going to cost about £2 per day for about 60 quid per month. And realistically, the information in here should allow you to learn how to make a living off of social media. This is no social media guru type stuff where I'm teaching you to make 6 figures a month or anything like that, although maybe some of you will be able to, who knows. This is realistic advice of how I've done what I've done, how to build a career that you actually enjoy doing, how to make sure that it's sustainable for as long as you possibly can anyway, and how to do it properly versus all this side hustle stuff that doesn't last and just all that sort of thing. Every single one of these topics is going to have a video attached to it that is around 10 minutes long. I'm going to cover as much as I possibly can. There's going to be a whole community full of people where you guys can all interact with each other and have chats with each other. There's going to be leaderboards in terms of what level you guys are in terms of the community. You will earn points by commenting and liking on each other's things and making sure that you're watching the stuff that's in the classroom, in the courses. You'll be able to compete against each other. I'll be able to host polls and Q&As and things like that. I'll be able to upload more videos to it as we go. It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, like I said, it will cost about £2 per day or 60 quid a month. Granted, it will show as dollars, which is like $80, but it'll charge you in pounds. It isn't available yet, but once it is, you guys will be the first to know. Please do comment down below that you are in, if you are going to be in. This is for people looking to take it very seriously and actually get somewhere rather than just hoping for the best. But of course, for those that can't afford the things to join like that, I will always be doing the content here where I can talk you guys through as much as I can. It's just, realistically, you'll get there quicker through doing the dedicated stuff. Here's some benefits to being a personal brand that somebody that is on camera speaking, the talent as it were, is what it would be called in the video production world, versus being faceless. First of all, when somebody's scrolling on social media, they see you, they know you. For example, if we're talking about YouTube, one of the biggest gamers on YouTube right now is Jev. Everyone loves Jev. Everybody will watch Jev play any game because they love that man. That is the ideal scenario when it comes to a personal brand. Jev can do and say and play anything he likes and do well with it. because that is just the case. Just his face in the thumbnail alone will get people clicking. That is the way you want to be. You don't want to be bound to any one particular topic. You don't want to be bound to any one particular game. You don't want to be bound to any one particular niche. This is the problem with faceless stuff, is there's nothing that is inherently you about it. People talk about growing on TikTok and things like that, and they want to do all these faceless accounts, but they don't actually have anything about themselves that is any different from anybody else. Like, some people ask me to audit them, and I look at the profile and I'm like, you aren't taking this as seriously as you think you are, because you're just posting anime clips. There are 1,000,001 other people posting anime clips. Why would they follow you? What's different about your anime clips versus somebody else's anime clips? Even in social media world, when it comes to teaching you guys how to grow on social media, I won't be the only one doing this, and in which case, why do you guys follow me? It's because you'll like me and what I have to say. And that's how this works. It's a personal brand. It helps you be yourself. You will have heard people, when they teach you how to do social media stuff, say that you need to try and stand out and you need to be unique. The way that you actually stand out and be unique is by being unapologetically who you are. It is the one thing that is always going to be unique to you. It's the thing that cannot be taken away. If you try to be liked by everybody, you will universally be liked by almost nobody, because that's not the way this works. Instead, you should just be unapologetically you, except that you're going to have people that don't like you no matter what you do, because you will. Even if you try and be nice to everybody, you will still get hate if you manage to get anywhere, I promise you. And I know you might be afraid of being on camera, and I know you might be nervous, and the fact that you're afraid of getting no views, and let's be real here, you're gonna get no views to begin with, because that's how this always starts. Your first few videos are gonna be a bit crap. They can get a bit better by joining my group, but they're gonna be bad. It's all a skill. There are so many different skills as a content creator that you pick up and learn along the way on the job, and that you refine and you put the reps in, if we use the gym example, and you improve over time based upon that. But I promise you, you'll get better. It will pick up. You will do more. It can be you. I know for a fact that so many people, like, I have like 6 nephews right now who I'm pretty sure want to do what I do as a job. One of them for realsies does. And a lot of people will tell him that they can't. They'll tell him that it's silly, but why not you? Here's the thing, right? The reality of social media is you do not need a massive following to be making enough money. Once again, when we talk about making money online, we're not talking about becoming a millionaire overnight. We're talking about doing things in a way that just potentially replaces your full-time income and then some eventually. It can build higher, sure. For example, if we look at my my community that I'm building, if that costs £60 a head and I can get 100 people in there, which shouldn't be outstandingly many, that's £6,000. Just one income source for 100 people. If you have, you see what I mean? There are so many different ways that you can build a living online these days, and all you need is your phone, and you absolutely have the power to do it. And so many people want to do it, but they're afraid to try. They're afraid to fail. But the only way to guarantee that you do fail is to never try in the first place. Just walk the path. I've called the group Walk the Path because I've said this before in these videos where the majority of things that we want to achieve in life have been achieved by somebody else before. The path has already been trodden. It is simply our job to walk it again. Open the door, walk the path, and start moving. So that's why I've called my community Walk the Path. People always think that they can't do social media for a job because they have to. They think that they've got to be some sort of mega celebrity, but you don't. I promise you that some of the names that you can think of that have millions of followers are making multi-6 figures, if not 7 figures a year. And most of you would be very happy if you were to just make £2,000 a month off your social media, wouldn't you? If you could earn £3,000 a month off your social media, you'd be pretty chilling. And that is fairly reasonable in a variety of different niches in so many different ways. And we'll cover like loads of them. The video that I did yesterday, I spoke about the variety of different income sources that you can create for yourself depending upon the niche that you're in. But in every niche, there are several different ways that you can make money. And these days, there's no reason not to. You have the tools available to you. It isn't like when I was 13 where everything cost a fortune. I remember I think I got a cracked version of Sony Vegas at one point, and that was supposed to be like 500 quid. I had a Hauppauge HD PVR, and that was pretty expensive. I spent all my Christmas money on that. And my original Blue Yeti as well. This is obviously not the original Blue Yeti, but my original Blue Yeti. These days you don't even need that. You just need TikTok and your phone, and you can change your life if you put your mind to it. But most people won't because they think that it can't be them. Too many people sit there and think, oh, it's all luck, it can't be. They all won't succeed. Oh, you'll fall off, blah, 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 blah. People will be defeatist. You don't want to be the average person. You want to be somebody that actually makes something of your life. Do not be the person that was who I was, where I was well into adulthood, earning £300 a month and just not really doing anything. Middle-aged people at Tesco would ask me, oh, am I just there while I'm at uni? And I was like, oh, no, I'm just kind of here. And they'd be like, oh, no. And it was, yeah, oh, no, do something. actually do something. For a bit of perspective, my original niche on social media was I was a fitness coach, and I was full-time with that at 10,000 followers on TikTok because my capacity at the time that I wanted to never exceed was 30 online clients. 30 online clients paying £100 a month paid me £3,000 a month, and I got there within about 3 months of doing TikTok, when for 5 years I'd be earning £283 a month, or rounded up to 300 if I did 10 hours of overtime. If I did 10 hours instead of 7.5 hours, I did 3 hours of overtime a month. A week extra through TikTok, through Tesco. So there are so many different ways that you can do this, regardless of the niche that you are in, whether it be a subscription, whether it be a service, whether it be a product, whether it be AdSense, whether it be streaming, whether it be Patreon. There's so much sponsors. There's so many different ways that if you just commit to the process, you can have what you want. You just have to actually do it. I say this in every single one of these videos that I make, but I make the videos on this account that the younger version of myself would have loved to have heard, that I would have needed to have heard. I would have loved somebody to shake me when I was younger and tell me that just because my family had no money, just because I had no prospects, because I failed college, didn't get a uni, and skived most of high school, just because I didn't do well academically, didn't mean that I was forever just bollocked. You can do something. Next time you go out the house, do me a favour. Pay attention to the cars that you see on the road. If you see a car that is within 3 or 4 years old, that car costs multiple hundreds of pounds per month. That person has more money than you think they do. Or at least they're prioritising their money in an interesting way, that's for sure. But there are tons of people that moan that they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't save, they can't invest, but they also don't have their priorities quite in line with perhaps where they should, or where they could. So there is money out there. There absolutely is. Think about how often you see brand new fancy-ass cars. The money came from somewhere. The money is coming from somewhere. They might not have much money left over at the end of the month because of the silly things they spend their money on, but to each their own. And I just want to convince you guys that there's money out there, because there is. We are often a product of the circle that we are within. And when I was younger, I didn't know anybody that had any money. No one in my family had a salary, let alone good salary. Like, everybody was on hourly. Or part-time, or just did a crap job. Nobody went to uni, none of that. No one I knew wanted to go to uni. And it was like, I didn't know there was money out there. I just thought, yeah, I was born into a class where it wasn't for me. And it never could be, because why would it? But that's just not going to be the case. And I refuse to let it be the case. I had this conversation with my mother the other day where I was outlining how, as long as the S&P 500 does what it's always done, no matter if I drop off tomorrow and never make another penny, the amount that I've got in the S&P 500 right now, if it appreciates 10% per year like it has done for the last 50 years, by the time I'm my mother's age, makes me a millionaire no matter what, which is awesome. But the idea is to get there much, much earlier. And you can do it too. You just have to figure it out. You just have to walk the path. Here we are again. And on the topic of you would be surprised how much money is out there. When I worked at Tesco, there was a dude that I worked with who told me what his dad does for a living. And his dad is basically very, very, very high up in one of the supermarket chains in England. Like, a supermarket chain you have heard of, he is third man down from top. And he told me that, like, 100 grand isn't even a bonus to the amount of money he makes. And I was like, Christ, that is an insane amount of money to even think that anyone could ever have. And even back then, I didn't quite believe or think that that was ever a world that I could inhabit. But why not? Why not? You are limited and trapped by only your mindset, I promise. So start your social media. Don't be afraid of showing your face and speaking. If you want to do this, you can do this. You just have to do you just have to do the do. You'll be crap to begin with. Everybody's crap to begin with. There isn't someone on the internet that didn't make crap videos to start with, I promise. But if you build your personal brand, you'll have longevity. You'll get the sponsors. You'll get people that like you. You'll be able to do what you want in terms of your content. You will succeed. You'll be able to sell a product if you get there. It'll be great. Anyway, I think that'll do for today. Hopefully this motivated some of you. And like I said, comment down below if I can expect to see you in the Walk the Path community group once that goes live. Like I said, £2 a day. Most of you spend a lot more than that on things you probably don't need. And this should be something... Where's my mouse gone? Everything's just turned itself off. This should be something that realistically you can use to make far more than £2 in a day, I tell you that. Yeah. For a bit of perspective in terms of just what I've done today. From what I gather, there's going to be at least 80 videos in the group when it goes live, or at least when the first version of it is done. I did about 20 videos today and yesterday, like 20 videos total, like 10 today, 10 yesterday. each one is about 10 minutes. So somebody do the math on that. There's already like nearly 4 hours of content. When I'm done, I would expect there to be at least 10 hours of content on social media growth in there. So yeah,